to, like, recently, you guys can tell me if I'm crazy. So I was out recently and I decided to get lunch at like this poke place, and it was like a I think it's Korean. I think poke is Korean or Japanese. I know it's not Chinese, or it might be. I don't know. It could be anything. So so I went to get put at this poke place, and it was kind of like I think it was Korean because the girl looked Korean. It was like a Korean Chipotle was basically what this place was. You know, you order your pokey stuff and they do like the quick like assembly line and they hand it to you at the end. They did it super duper quick, you know, chop chop chop, you know. So like I got one of those, and you know, like, so the girl, and I know it was fast because I ordered it on DoorDash, and then I went to get it and they were like, oh, we don't have like the lump crab or whatever, because I'm terrified of like seafood that's not cooked, you know, with the parasites and everything. So I always like, even though I would like kind of prefer like the salmon or the tuna or something like that, I always like get whatever is cooked. That's usually like a lump crab. I feel like it's no win situation because the cooked meats, they don't cook anything. Sometimes like with Boston rolls you get like the smoked salmon, which I believe that's cooked. But it's like the cooked stuff is like the bottom feeders, you know, like crab and lobster. So I'm kind of skeptical. I don't eat sushi that much or any. I had a period where I was very, very obsessed with like the sushi at Whole Foods. Not like, there's like a good one. The one in the city is like the good stuff. The one that's like in the Whole Foods, New York, in the Whole Foods that are like not in the city or is not good. It's like, I forget what the name was of the place. Because they get it like specially made fresh, you know, and they have real lump crab in there, you know. But, so I was obsessed with that for a while. And I just had like a general sushi obsession. And I would never get the raw stuff because I'm just terrified of the parasites. Anyways, but I feel like it's a no-win situation because either you're getting raw fish or you're getting bottom feeders that literally just eat everything. So I feel like it's like, and this is why I don't do sushi, it's like toxic no matter what. Anyways, back to the poke bowls, which is like, poke bowls are basically, from my understanding, it's just like a sushi but in bowl form and not in sushi form. You know what I mean? It's got like all the sushi contents but like in a bowl. It's like a burrito bowl versus getting a burrito at Chipotle, you know? So yeah. So I go to this place. They didn't have my lump crab. So the lady's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I guess I'll just like double the shrimp, you know, whatever." So I'm just like, "I'll do shrimp, whatever." And she's like, "Okay." So she quickly like boom, 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 puts the whole thing together like in the assembly line. And she was super nice, very sweet girl. Like, those Koreans are usually very nice. You know what I mean? They're usually really, really nice. Sweet, sweet Asian ladies. But they're usually really sweet. I used to work with, like, I knew a girl back when I was doing, like, my makeup stuff who was, like, a fashion designer at FIT. Like, they're really, it's like they're culturally, like, the women in those cultures generally are super sweet from my experience. Anyways, and she was very sweet. You know, like, I'm just saying. So anyways, I just say, like, I'm sorry, I don't think. Anyways, so she's, like, really sweet. Like, she's very, very sweet the whole time, you know? But, you know, obviously I'm not, like, looking at her face because I'm not creepy like that. I'm not, like, staring at, like, this while she's making my freaking bowl, you know? So she hands me the bowl at the end. And she's like, she says something along the lines of, like, oh, is that, like, oh, is this, like, you know, whatever. Like, you know, like, what they usually say to you when you're bowled, and I don't know, I forget what it was, but, you know, generic stuff. And I'm looking at her, and she has, you know, obviously she's Korean, and she's wearing bright blue contacts over their eyes, and I know it's, like, their culture, and I do think she's Korean, because I think that is their, like, yes, because K-pop, right? With the K-pop and the K-beauty, and, like, they're all into, like, those colored contacts. She's wearing, like, these bright blue contacts over her eyes. I got so grossed out. You know, I literally almost threw up in my mouth. Like, there's something about it, like, with those freaking, like, just fake blue, whatever that was. It looked like Dawn soap. And obviously because like Koreans, like they don't like have like their eyes look like mine. So you put like a blue over it, you still see like kind of like the brown underneath or whatever. Like it was like not a good look. You know what I mean? Um, it's like it looked like Dawn soap tinted eyes is what it looked like, but it was like it was like highlighter fluid. It was like popping out at you. I got like I don't like colored contacts. First of all, like I don't like them. They're never natural. Um, but you can always freaking tell. You can always tell because they're like when someone wearing colored contacts. First of all, because you need to see out of the contact, they're always like perforated. I forget what it's called. Where it's not like a solid color. It's like tiny dots that are close enough that make it look solid from a distance so that you can see out of the freaking thing. And also like the pupil is set, like the pupil never moves. Yeah, like I guess so, like it's my thing. I hate it so much. So she hands me and I'm like staring at her Dawn soap colored eyes, and I'm just like barfing in my mouth, and I almost didn't eat it. I had to force myself to eat that freaking bowl. Like I had to force myself to eat that. I was so grossed out. I just wanted to add, because I don't know if this is obvious or not, I'm not biased towards any eye color or anything like that. Like, totally, like, I'm totally not like that. I'm not, like, coming for eye color or whatever. Like, that's the one thing people can't change about themselves is their eyes. Like, I would never do that. I don't have, whatever. I don't have, like, weirdness surrounding that. But I have a thing about colored contacts, okay? I have a thing about colored contacts. I hate colored contacts. I remember years ago, this makeup artist popped up on my feed, and she was wearing brown eye contacts, and I didn't even know people wore brown eye contacts because Eurocentric beauty standards. People don't typically go for brown contacts, just so you know what I mean. So I didn't even know like those existed really, but I could tell just by looking at her because her eyes, and it wasn't even because the color looked bad on her. It was because her eyes just looked like really like beady and glazed over. That I could tell. And I didn't even know brown eye contacts existed. And I had never seen this girl before. I didn't even know what her natural eye color was. I could just tell from looking. And it was in a thumbnail, too. It wasn't even like, I didn't even hit the picture. I could tell even in the thumbnail. I'm like, I was like, I've never seen brown eye contacts before, but this might be the first time I'm looking at them because those aren't real. And it wasn't even because the color looked bad on her. It was just the way, it's just creepy. Those things are creepy. They like just like take the life out of your eyes and make you look glazed over and beady. And then you can always see, like in that situation, because it's like a dark color, you can see like little dots that they do. But like, yeah, you could always, like, you could tell just by the way that it just like sits there and it looks like a doll's eye. You know what I mean? Like one of those porcelain dolls kind of has that effect. Even those porcelain dolls' eyes look like more real than those contact things do. Anyways, that was my disclaimer. That's just my disclaimer. But yeah, and sure enough, I did click on her profile, and she did not have brown eyes. She had like green eyes or something like that. But like that's just my disclaimer, because like I'm not trying to sound some type of way. I don't know. I don't know if it sounded away. So that's my disclaimer.